I know I interrupted your intro, but you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I just want to say that... Okay, it's fine. I just want to say one thing. I'm interrupting this because, as you know, I'm using the same intro now. I did a video recently where it was like, hey, which one of these intros do you want me to use? And a lot of you said you wanted the third one. So, well, I'm going to keep the intro the same and the music the same. That third intro that you heard from this point on will be the outro song. So every time there's a video over a minute, you are going to hear the outro song. That song, that was the third song that you all voted for, will be the intro song. So we'll have the same intro song, and then it'll be the outro song. So, kind of like something like this. Also, big thanks to this guy named Shane Everett that makes the thumbnails and graphic design, comes up with some of the video ideas that I make. Although I am making this thumbnail because of his birthday, so happy birthday to you. Hope you enjoyed this video. Probably comes out today. It depends on how, I feel like editing. Yeah, they're fine. I can start talking. Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about this weird thing that... It's fine. Just fine. Hello, welcome back to the video. Today in today's video, we are going to be talking about this weird thing that's been going around lately. And it's this doors versus wheels. So the basic premise is there more doors or wheels on Earth? And, when I thought about this, I was like, wheels. But then I was like, what is the definition of a wheel and a door? And I was like, I don't know. So that night, I went onto Reddit and Twitter, aka the garbage of, humanity, and I looked at some stats of other people's opinions. And let me just say, before I get too far on this, that this is all human error. It could be anyway. I could have made a mistake counting or doing millions of other things with this. So if anything's off, sorry, just take this with a pinch of salt. So for the first one, wheels won. You're getting 15 out of 14. It came very close and tied a lot. And this was like a mixture of different things. But then we went on to the second one, and they tied. So I did it again, they tied. And then I finally did it, and the scores finally broken 7-6. But what that proves is that it's very close. One person will say wheels, 2 others will say doors, and then 5 others say wheels. It goes back and forth, and everyone has their own opinions on this. Because it's like, maybe it's fans. Do fans, do ball bearings? Do the stuff that move doors count? Do hinges count? What counts as a wheel? So, I looked it up. I was like, how many doors are on Earth? And I got 42 billion doors. Now, I'm gonna call bullshit on this and say that you shouldn't listen to this, and here's the reason why. How many doors are in the world March 2022? So, if we're considering doors all over the world, it's important to think about the fact that there are 7 billion people living in the globe. Now, everyone walks through doors in the home, cars, schools, and hospitals, offices, and many other places. If each person has 6 doors per day, that means that there are 42 billion doors across the world according to the sources. They don't say how they got that. That's where my problem comes in with this. What does that mean? That's putting into account here that, let's say, everybody in the world, first of all, there's more than 7 billion people. It's like 7 billion, blah, 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 or 8 billion, I'm not really sure. But either way, it doesn't matter. That is saying 7 billion people, that's it. And they all own cars, none of them are homeless, none of them just go through everything. Everybody has at least 6 doors. That is a very rough estimate. I'm sure it has to be somewhat close to that. But I wouldn't listen to that. And then to find how many tires are on Earth, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find any sources. There was votes and different things, but none of that really matters. Some people voted, it was like a 50% poll about different doors and cars and things. But this is where the problem mainly comes. What is the definition of a door, and what is the definition of a wheel? Not a tire, a wheel. A hinge, sliding, or revolving barrier at the entrance to a building, room, or vehicle, or in the framework of a cupboard. Now, that definition I pulled straight off of Google. I just pulled right from sources. Now, let's look at the wheel definition here. A circular object that revolves on an axle and is fixed below a vehicle or an object to enable to move easily on the ground. Now, by going off of that definition, that would mean that we could rule out some things. But then listen to this. A wheel is a circular component that is intended to rotate on an axle bearing. The wheel is one of the key components of a wheel and an axle in which one of the 6 simple machines. That is a different definition from what I got originally. And it was the same for doors. I got a different definition for doors. And that's the thing. There's different definitions for this. There's not... No. The thing is, there is no set definition. Now, sure, I could go look in a definition. I could go look in, like, a book just full of definitions. I could go do that. But it doesn't matter, because I don't know what the original person intended to say. If he had said, vehicles on doors and cars alone, that'd be a lot simpler. There's like, blah, 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 many cars. Do some math, there's your thing. But he didn't. He said, wheels and tires. Wheels and doors. Which could mean anything. A door could be a glove compartment door, which means the motorcycle argument doesn't work, because yeah, a motorcycle has two wheels, but it could also have openings to put phones, anything. Jet skis, they don't have any wheels, but they have doors and the compartments to put stuff in. Is that considered a door? Is a hood considered a door? It's so vague that we don't know. Well, somebody just has to go around to every country. No, because there's some places that you just can't go. North Korea, you can only go so far, and you can't trust any information that comes out of any country. I'm kidding, that's a joke. That's a joke. Either way, it doesn't matter either way, because there's so many places that we don't even know if they still exist or not. What about bunkers? What about different things that were built for war that we haven't found? There's just so many different variants, and like, could I call, like, I mean, this is a door, this is a door, this is a tire, but I mean, like, there's just so many different things. It's so hard to say what is a door, what is a wheel. If a wheel has to be on an axle, a steering wheel could still work, because an axle, from the definition that I've looked up, it seems like it could still fit, which means that technically you could say that most cars would have 6 wheels, and most cars would have 4 doors, maybe 5 doors, depending if they have a glove compartment, which most cars do. And then you get into like vans, buses. There's so many different things. So many different things you could call a door, technically. I could call anything that opens with a hinge a door, which would mean mailboxes, which would mean pretty much anything. And then the same for wheels. I can call Hot Wheels. What about cars? What about like toys? Anything that has building. Legos makes a lot of wheels and tires for their stuff. Are those considered wheels or tires? They roll on axles, Lego axles, but they still roll, and the doors still have hinges that open, so aren't those considered doors? There's just so many different things. Right or wrong answer here to what would be considered a door or not. Answer. There's no anything really. There's no for sure answer that I can completely say that's like, yeah, it's definitely wheels. Because if you look at the thumbnail, that is one of the largest wheel graveyards in the world, and it's massive. But who's to say that there's not graveyards of doors? You can go to any antique shop and you'll find doors and doors and doors. There's just no real way to tell. So I'm sorry that you just wasted 9 minutes of your life and time watching this video just to get an answer, basically saying, I don't know, I don't think there is any definitive answer, something you already knew. I feel bad for you about that, but who cares? Either way, there's no definitive answer to this. Yeah, and then like it says, axle. The axle is a obsolete shoulder or axle can be the pin or spindle on which a wheel revolves. But either way, sorry I wasted your time. There's no definitive answer. It could be either one, honestly, and you're all wasting your time. Goodbye. It's totally wheels.